We all know that Sky are going to put Michael Richards and Roy Keane in the studio.
Yep.
So I want City to smash them.
Oh no! If they do,
I want Roy Keane rants. Give me the Roy Keane rants.
Hello and welcome back to the Off the Crossbar podcast with myself, Regan, Walsh, and my co-presenter, as always, Brad. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
So we've had some Premier League action this midweek. Not the most of entertaining match days yesterday, but definitely more entertaining on the Tuesday. So
I guess it depends which side you're on.
I mean, the top half of the table, yesterday's games weren't really the best. Crystal Palace and Manchester United played out a boring 0-0 draw at Selhurst Park. I mean...
Oh, it got an early run out already.
It needed to, because I mean that was 3 consecutive 0-0 draws now for Manchester United.
So, I need to say, surely I cannot use that every single week.
I think you might have to at this rate with Man United, how they're playing doing absolutely poorly again. I mean, they just did nothing the whole of that game. I mean, considering how bad Palace have been over the recent weeks, United should have won that game. But like Gary Neville says, Bruno's looking fatigued already, and the team are just not what they need to be if they're trying to put up even a good battle against Leicester now in the Premier League. Because, I mean, admittedly they are still a point ahead of Brendan Rodgers' side, but you've got to start winning these games, and it really is not looking good for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side recently.
Gary Neville's exact words were, "You're sleepwalking into the top 4 battle." When it was only a couple of weeks ago that you were going to be the champions.
Yeah, but what did I say? I said at the time when United got first place, which was start of February, I believe, I said it's too early to talk about Man United being as champions. We know what Manchester United are like, and I've been proven right since saying that. The results have just faltered away, and they're now 14 points behind Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, and the other teams are closing in on them below. So they've got the hard task this weekend, which we'll get onto later on in the podcast, but they have to be winning these games, and it was absolutely a poor performance to see from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side. Elsewhere in the Premier League,
You scattered very quickly because I just want to talk about the best thing about the whole game.
The weather?
Yes, exactly, because thank God the fog got worse, because it stopped me from watching that crap.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the foggiest games I have seen in a long time. It did seem to come in quite badly.
For more fog in the Premier League. Fog over snow.
Yes. The more boring games, they just have to have like a fog machine, an excessive fog machine in all 4 corners, even when fans are allowed back in. And if it's a boring 0-0, just put her on the fog so we don't have to watch it.
Just call the guy, yeah, right.
Elsewhere yesterday in the Premier League, Burnley and Leicester played out a 1-1 draw. Matej Vydra scored after 4 minutes for Sean Dyche's side before a wonder strike from Kelechi Iheanacho just after the half-hour mark gave Brendan Rodgers' side the point. Credit to Burnley. They really held their own against Leicester in this game, and at times looked really good, you gotta say.
Yeah, typical. It's just like they looked terrible one game, and then you remember, oh wait, they're all right.
Yeah, they can actually do some decent performances every now and again.
Yeah. Just a small thing on Leicester. Was this the first sign that maybe the injuries are going to get to them?
Yeah, I think that would definitely, from how, like the early set off against Brighton and Burnley, should I say, and Vydra scoring so early on really took them by surprise. And you're like, oh shit, this is be quite a hard time for us now with the amount of injuries we have sustained. But currently they do have a gap between themselves and West Ham, which is 5 points. Though the Hammers do have a game in hand because are they playing today? Or
I'm not quite sure. I've forgotten.
no, they're not. So I don't know when West Ham's game in hand is going to be played because they're not playing this week. Elsewhere, yesterday's games, there was a shock on the cards at Bramall Lane as Sheffield
Speaking of barely
United
playing this week,
beat Aston Villa 1-0 thanks to a David McGoldrick goal on the half-hour mark. Though Sheffield United played the last half an hour of the game with 10 men after Phil Jagielka got sent off for a foul on Anwar El Ghazi, was it?
yes.
Yes. I mean, he's absolutely dominated them, but you didn't
Steady
score.
on. It wasn't domination. That's what I was watching.
I mean, we said you would struggle without Jack Grealish, and you kind of did against Leeds United, but you've got to be beating Sheffield United, surely.
Oh yeah, but it's another case of the Villa charity striking.
Take from the rich and give back to the poor.
We're just average. Average in terms of the top level that we want to aim for, I guess. Well, what's disturbing is the lack of a plan B or the quick reaction to make it a sub.
Yeah,
we should have made that double substitution we did the second the red card was made.
Yeah, so about 10 minutes earlier then.
Yeah, and we had so many chances that we just missed as well. Look, it didn't dominate because I wouldn't go that far, but we weren't awful. Like, there was one Traore, bless him. I don't know how he could look so bad at times, but yet amazing in others. Like, he had one moment where he was surrounded by four of them. He's took every single one of them on, and then he's through pretty much, and he just misses for about 8 yards. He's the hard part, man.
Sometimes everyone does their hard part, but the execution is what lets them down.
And just I think the red card slightly evened itself out by the fact we should have probably had a penalty. I mean, I didn't actually think it was a red card. I thought it was quite harsh on him. I don't think he's the last man.
I don't think it's because he's the last man. I think it's because the other centre back or other defender has quite a bit of travel to do to get over to El Ghazi.
If it was the second yellow, I would have said yeah, but they upgraded it, which made me go, no, I don't think that's worth it enough.
It's definitely arguable, but I don't think it'll be one that Chris Wilder's side will be appealing. I think, or if they did, I don't think there's enough to justify it being changed.
I don't know if you can apply an straight red. I think you might be able to.
Yeah, and then
but I didn't want to play in the UEFA Cup Conference since Toto Winners League anyway.
I told you yesterday it's the UEFA Conference League.
I couldn't give a shit what it's called.
Conference, whatever you just said. Get it right for fuck's sake. You never know, in 12 months' time we could be going to the final of that.
God. So genuinely, I actually Googled it and I think the final's in like... No, I forgot. It's so... I'll keep going. I will get this.
Okay. On Tuesday, Pep Guardiola's side continued their phenomenal season and run with a 4-1 victory over Nuno Espirito Santo's Wolverhampton Wanderers. Leander Dendoncker scored an own goal after 15 minutes before Conor Cody equalised for Wolves after the hour mark, and then City scored 3 goals in the last 10 minutes to pile on the misery for Wolves, with Gabi Jesus scoring a brace and Riyad Mahrez scoring in between. It's now 21 league games unbeaten and 28 games in all competitions, I think that is.
Oh yeah, I don't know what's more surprising, their win streak or where next year's Europa Conference League finalists.
We'll get back onto that in a second. So another phenomenal performance from Pep Guardiola's side. Absolutely class in the final 10 minutes, got the job done. Credit to Wolves for staying in for so long, but
did you see the Wolves? One of Wolves' only touches in the penalty area was their goal.
Yeah, she's quite crazy.
Credit to them, they didn't attack them.
Yeah, but you always know that they managed to hold on to 1-1 for.
They were 1-0 down for a very long time.
Yeah, but for 20 minutes they kept it level, but the final 10, Man City just turned into another gear, and that's a sign of a good team that look like champions.
Can Wolves fans complain? Because I don't know if you saw the second goal, Dendonka just turns his back on the line.
No, I definitely can't complain. I think it's
You got to
poor.
go for that as a defender, though, surely. You
Yeah.
can't be turning your back.
Oh, I hate when
You're the
players
last
turn.
line of defence.
I hate when players do that anyway. Turn their back. Just it's
I'd have
take
give
one
him
in
the
the
second own goal for that.
yeah. Just take it in the face or in the stomach. Yeah, it might hurt, but you're going to prevent the goal from going in.
The Portuguese, they're sensitive.
Oh, true.
I've just offended Portuguese people.
No, because we all know they are anyway, and that whole team is Portugal FC. Yep. So City remain atop of the league, and as we said, we've got a 14-point gap between them and Manchester.
Is Spanish, I'll have you know.
No one really cares about him. He's just baby oil.
It's next door to Portugal.
Exactly. So it makes no difference. At the time we're recording, we're doing this before 3 other games today. So we got Fulham versus Tottenham at 6 o'clock, West Brom versus Everton at the same time, and then the big one at 8:15 as Liverpool take on Chelsea. Good games to look for. Well, I say good games only. Chelsea versus Liverpool, which could be interesting. The other games, you'd expect Spurs and Everton to win quite comfortably.
If Chelsea win that game tonight, that would put Thomas Tuchel in a pretty respectable category. That would be him overcoming a pretty major hurdle, even given Liverpool's form.
Yeah, I mean, a win tonight would see them jump into the top 4 and be only 3 points behind Leicester City. With victory tonight I mean, Liverpool could also jump into the top 4 with a win. They would go in by a point over West Ham. But yeah, I think it's going to be a hard task for Liverpool because, like you said, Tuchel's got Chelsea playing so well, and they just look like a completely different team under Tuchel compared to the Lampard.
They just seem more organised.
Yeah.
I know the defence is still prone to the odd mistake, but they're not being punished, really.
He seems to have gotten very well drilled compared to how it was under Lampard.
Yeah. I can only criticise him for his disrespect of the great Tammy Abraham.
So jumping back to that internet, making me calling it the wrong name, the UEFA Conference League. Where's that final being held then?
What of us?
So
was you asking?
Yeah, where's the final being held?
Okay, where do you think Tirana is?
It's in Albania. Last time I checked.
Yeah, it's the capital of Albania.
It's the final of that's been held in Albania.
Yep. I mean, no offense to Albania, but it's not the first place you put a final of a major European competition.
Where's the Champions League and Europa League being held then next season? The final.
I've no idea, but if you always start googling that one as well.
It's not important, but Jesus, that is very strange. We do have a full slate of Premier League fixtures to look forward to this weekend, starting at 12:30 between Burnley and Arsenal at Turf Moor. Then at 3 o'clock is Sheffield United versus Southampton. At 5:30 is the West Midlands derby as Aston Villa entertain Wolverhampton Wanderers. At 8 o'clock, Brighton take on Leicester, and then on Sunday we have West Brom versus Newcastle, Liverpool versus Fulham, the Manchester derby at 4:30 from the Etihad Stadium, London derby at 7:15 as Tottenham play Crystal Palace, and then Monday is Chelsea versus Everton and West Ham versus Leeds. I think
actually just about Champions League final. This is 2022.
Yeah.
Right. It's a Champions League is in St. Petersburg.
Okay, not bad, Russia.
And this is almost perfect for a certain club because the 2022 Europa League final is in Seville.
Oh God! If they don't win that, if they get into that and don't win it, then that is the biggest shame ever. Yeah. So looking ahead to this weekend's fixtures, Burnley Arsenal. You never know. This for some reason I can just see this going one of two ways. Arsenal will play excellently, like they did the other week against Leeds United when they got the result, or this will go back to Arsenal of old, and they've been really poor, and Burnley will end up walking away with a victory.
With it being at Turf Moor, it's going to be a case of where Arsenal can break him down.
Yeah.
Because it'll be similar to how it was against us, I'd gather.
Oh, 100%. I mean, Sean Dyche always sets his teams up really well at home, and it is hard for any team to go there and get a victory. Then the 3 o'clock Sheffield United Southampton. This is a game Sheffield United will definitely be looking as a place that they can get 3 points, considering how bad Southampton have been in recent weeks. Well, since their victory at Liverpool, they haven't won in the league, so this is definitely one for Sheffield United to give them a bit of confidence. I mean, I think Chris Wilder has even said himself that he's resigned that they are going to get relegated, but they can go out with a bit of pride, and definitely victory isn't ruled out for them this weekend.
You're right on that, and we've just a bit with Southampton as well, because you've seen this table. Do they really need to start looking deeply over their shoulder?
Oh, 100%. They really do.
There's 7 points off the relegation.
And like we said, Fulham are starting to slowly come into a bit of form. And the other teams around them aren't doing too bad. I'd say between themselves and Fulham, at the moment, they're playing the worst, you got to say, out of the 4 teams around them.
I guess between 14th and 18th, they're the worst performing by the looks of it. But you'd still back them to get out of that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that is a drop of mammoth proportions.
Oh yeah, if
it's already a drop of mammoth proportions. They were top of the league at like October, was it?
Yeah, I think if Southampton
is that stats tweet or the merch that Southampton put out?
Yes,
that is a future images that precede unfortunate events.
I'm going to say this as a big if now. If Southampton go down, I think that'll be the end of Hasenhüttl's time at St Mary's. If they go down,
if he's masterminded now a relegation, your job's untenable.
Yeah, from the position they were in last season to today's date is an incredible downfall at St Mary's, and I wouldn't even be surprised even if they do stay up if he does get the sack or moved on from the result.
It depends how badly it finishes. If they don't pick a win soon, then it does that really start asking that question.
Yeah, because I mean, after this week against Sheffield United, they play Man City next week. Then they've got the big one against Brighton mid-March. The game against Tottenham's been rescheduled, and then they've got Burnley and West Brom just before we get to mid-April.
In there.
So then after that West Brom game, they've got Crystal Palace, Leicester, Liverpool, Fulham, Leeds, and West Ham.
So they've pretty much got to face everyone around them.
Yeah, everyone around them, and then Liverpool, Leicester, and Man City, as well as whenever the Spurs fixture is rescheduled. So 4 teams that are trying to get top 4, and Man City obviously trying to win the league, and then everyone else around them is their remaining fixtures, which isn't ideal.
And defeat would almost certainly suck them in.
Yeah. Next up at 5:30 is the Midlands derby between Villa and Wolverhampton Wanderers at Villa Park. I mean, this would be a first league double for Villa since the 2003-04 campaign after Aston Villa won the reverse fixture 1-0 back in December. Do you have much faith going into it?
Oh yeah. I'm not like most people were at the end of last night, in the heat of the moment, just forgetting the perspective again of how our season has gone. I'm just hoping our Capitan is back.
Yes. There's no news as of time recording whether Grealish is going to be fully fit, though. I'd expect that news to come out maybe tomorrow.
With him, it's eerily similar to the last one.
Yeah.
About 2 years ago, it was I can't remember what it was. He was just it was like a lower ankle, but he was having like almost similar to now, just issues with it. And he was walking fine, but he just wouldn't play. And then we didn't see him until like March.
You just
I
gotta
mean,
hope.
but when he came back last time, we went on a 10-game winning streak. So
Fingers crossed for something similar when he comes back soon. Hopefully, it'll be sooner rather than later for Aston Villa.
in fairness, I'm intrigued to see how this game goes. Wolves are happy to defend a bit more, which is interesting. And I'd be more intrigued to see how we line up.
Yeah. I'm not even too sure what I would expect from this game.
I almost wouldn't be surprised at 0-0.
Yeah. It's one of them where a nil
That
on a
score
goal.
is without Grealish. If Grealish is in, I think we should be winning it.
Depends how long he
It's hard to
plays for.
it's just hard for us to get the mindset of thinking, right, we will win this game without him in it. Like, we're not a one-man team.
No,
I know
but
that much, but going forward, he just offers that extra bit.
yeah, and he attracts more defenders onto him, which allows like your other attacking players to have more freedom on the pitch.
And really, our wingers aren't good enough to take the game by the scruff of the neck on their own and do stuff.
No, and I don't think many Villa fans would say that they were. The final game, Brighton versus Leicester on Saturday. I mean, again, this is another bite for Leicester, similar to their game last night against Burnley. A fully fit squad, you'd say, yeah, they can comfortably win this, but I mean, you never know. But then again, Brighton and scoring goals is another factor.
So 0-0 then.
Yeah.
Oh, this really was typical Brighton on this one.
Yeah. It wouldn't actually be too surprising if you did see like, oh, this is the one game where Brighton do actually convert their shots this game, sorry. Which go on.
No, carry on. I was going to skip, but carry
on. I've just had a quick look. The Brighton are winless in all 7 of their Premier League meetings, with Leicester drawing 2, losing 5, failing to score on 5 occasions in this run. So, and Leicester have won both occasions that the two teams have met this season. They won 3-0 in the reverse fixture at the King Power Stadium, and then won 1-0 in the FA Cup as well. So, I mean, you got the odds there are in Leicester's favour, but with the injuries that they have sustained, you got to say it's going to be a lot closer than what we have previously seen between the two sides.
Yeah. But should we just get to the Manchester derby now?
Yeah, because there's no point going over the rest of the games beforehand. Because I mean, West Brom Newcastle, it's going to be a boring game.
Well, actually, just one last thing with that. Have you seen all the stuff with Bruce and Matt Ritchie?
Yeah, there was apparently a heated argument at training over the last few days, and Ritchie has since apologised for it.
You wuss.
Just knock the potato head down.
Well, no, I'm not asking for violence. But I don't know if you saw it was Monday Night Football. Carragher analysed it.
No, I didn't see it.
It was the Wolves goal. Like, Ritchie's come on.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was one of the coaches, not Bruce, who related it to Ritchie to obviously tell someone else. But Matt Ritchie just didn't do that. So literally, like a couple of minutes after the sub, they scored.
Yeah.
And you could tell the person who's obviously told to be playing at right back, I think it was Jacob Murphy, I think he was. But like Isaac Hayden has realised, actually, am I supposed to have been told something to go back and defend? So it seemed that gone back, and obviously he's not watching Neves.
Yeah.
Or there's no one covering the right back, so Neves could just run in and head the ball in. And then it was Bruce that you could see him all like, what the hell? How's that happened then? And everyone's like, so it was the visible confusion. Steve Bruce.
Like you said, we have the Manchester derby to look forward to on Sunday at 4:30. Apparently, David De Gea is set to miss this game and the next 5 to 6 games for Manchester United as he's set to return to Spain as his
Are you
wife
really
is
upset by that?
yeah, not too much, but
Windows the
um,
future.
yeah. However, though, I mean, looking at current form of the two teams, you've got to say Man City are definitely the favourites and should have a lot of confidence to go in this game and uh, win it.
Even in Man City's form, they're in the half-4 kick-off or roll nothing out. This wouldn't surprise me if it ended 0-0. Remember the last one?
Yeah, true.
Oh, God. It's written in it.
Really, it's the problem
There's
with the
my
four.
Super 6 extra prediction.
That's the problem with the 4:30 kickoffs. They aren't usually the most entertaining games.
Bad enough with Baitara on the comms.
Stop slagging off Martin Tyler. He's a good commentator.
He's a good commentator, but it's just his tone sometimes doesn't keep you awake. He used up all his energy in 2012 when he screwed Aguero. No, he peaked with Martial.
Yes, well, and when he goes, Anthony Martial, welcome to Manchester.
It was all downhill from there. Both him and Martial.
Yes. Yeah, for me, City favourites, even though it's the 4:30 kickoff, and I wouldn't be surprised if they run out winners.
For reactions, that because we all know that Sky are going to put Michael Richards and Roy Keane in the studio.
Yep.
So I want City to smash them.
Oh no! If they do,
I want Roy Keane rants. Give me the Roy Keane rants.
I think you would actually kill Micah Richards.
It killed Jamie Redknapp.
Oh yeah.
The way he went at him last week.
Oh, I mean, you can't help but love Roy Keane with some of the stuff he comes out with. The other big fixture we have to look forward to this weekend is on Monday night between Chelsea and Everton at 6 o'clock at Stamford Bridge. Depends on how the result goes tonight against Liverpool. I think even heading into this one, they're going to have a bit of confidence. They definitely look more capable of getting a result against an Everton side than what they probably would have done in the past under Lampard. But again, you never can write off Carlo Ancelotti's side. And for me, I don't know what to expect from that one. Again, either side winning it late on wouldn't really surprise me. And then the final game, West Ham versus Leeds, to round off the weekend. Well, you'd expect Leeds to win this 1-0 so they can get their goal difference back to 0.
Just know they're fucking winning this, don't you? Just know they are. Nah, West Ham should win it.
Yeah.
But Leeds will win.
1-0, just so they can get their goal difference back to 0. Elsewhere in the world of men's football, over in La Liga this weekend, on Friday, Valencia take on Villarreal at 8 o'clock. And then on Saturday, Osasuna play Barcelona whilst Elche play Sevilla. And then it's the big one on Sunday afternoon at 3:15 in the UK. It is the Madrid derby from the Wanda Metropolitano as Atletico host Zinedine Zidane's Real side, which is going to be a very, very good watch, I have a feeling.
I hope so.
Well, yeah. To be fair, it doesn't usually disappoint, the Madrid derby.
Even with Atletico style.
Yeah. It's somewhat more entertaining than what you have like for the big games over here in England. Then in the Bundesliga this weekend, Borussia Mönchengladbach play by Leverkusen on Saturday afternoon, as well as Freiburg taking on RB Leipzig. And then it's the Klassiker at 5:30 on Saturday as Bayern Munich take on Borussia Dortmund. I don't know whether Jadon Sancho is going to be fully fit for this game, as him and Rafa Guerrero went off with injuries in their midweek game. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens there, though. They expect it to be like game day decisions for Dortmund.
It feels as if they would just put him in anyway.
And then in Italy this weekend, Juventus take on Lazio on Saturday evening, Roma play Genoa. Hellas Verona take on AC Milan, and league leaders Inter Milan play on Monday night against Atalanta, which should be a very good game between the two sides, as Atalanta are definitely a good side to watch. Right, and I'll hand over to you now for the Predictions League.
Otherwise known as the weekend where you will finally reach the Centurion mark.
Hopefully.
You always get 0. It's just,
Yeah, but I mean, I only got 1 point last week.
I'm looking at this week. You should at least get 1.
Okay.
Okay, so a lot of Premier League games were quite open this weekend. We just seem to refuse now to go against our own teams, which limits our options dramatically. First one, Sheffield United against Southampton.
I think the Saints are going to win this one 1-0.
I'll go 1-1.
Okay.
So for game 2, we have Brighton versus Leicester.
I think Leicester should win this 2-0.
I say 0-0.
Wow.
Bold, I know.
Interesting. Game 3 and the final one from England.
We have the battle of the two old masters of their craft. Tottenham versus Crystal Palace.
I'm going to go 3-1 to Spurs.
It's weird because I'm also because the game from earlier this season. 2-0 Tottenham.
Okay. And the 3 European games we have?
Oh, of course, one of them is the Klassiker.
Bayern versus BVB. I think Bayern will win this 3-2.
Oh, stop. Stop. I don't want to get the same scores as you.
You're allowed to?
No, they said they'd do 3-2. No way. This ends 3-0 Bayern.
3-0 to Bayern.
Actually, can I say 3-1 instead? 3-1.
3-1, okay.
I completely ignored the fact that Haaland will just score anyway.
It's just written in the rules. He's going to score. The second European
Wait, you
game.
got that down as 3-1 Bayern, right?
Yeah, 3-1 to Bayern.
I didn't say Bayern. I don't have to tell you. Like I meant to, but I just didn't say a team.
Yeah, I know who you meant. Don't worry.
So second game, travel to Turin. Juventus versus Lazio.
I think Juve win this 2-1. It's going to be a close game.
Yeah, I'll also say 2-1 to Juve.
Okay, and then the final game this weekend?
Of course, it's the Madrid derby.
Atleti versus Real.
Becky.
I think 1-0 to Atleti.
Oh, you see, sort of a. Oh, I wanted to say that as well. I didn't think you'd say that. Yeah, 1-0. Let's go.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tightly fought game for me. So, reminder heading into this weekend, Brad is on 73 points and I am still on 99. So hopefully this weekend I can finally break the 3-figure barrier and get to 100 points, hopefully.
So I'm on a streak.
Jesus. I mean, that's a bit of a stretch calling this a streak, but yes. Right, now into the world of women's football. Yesterday, Chelsea and Manchester City played in the Champions League, with both teams winning. Chelsea beat Atletico Madrid 2-0, thanks to Fran Kirby and a Mara Mialda penalty, despite Sophie Ingle getting sent off for Emma Hayes' side in the opening 12 minutes. And shout out to Anna-Katrin Berger, who saved 2 penalties from Atletico Madrid. And Manchester City beat Fiorentina 3-0 thanks to Lauren Hemp I've forgotten the other goal scorers. Sam Mewis and my third goal scorer has gone out of my head.
We're talking about Man City, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know then.
Who's got the Ellen White? That was it. It's because Ellen White and Lauren Hem literally scored 2 minutes apart in the opening 4 minutes, so that's why I can remember.
If I knew it was, I could have very easily have given you a clip just on our Zoom call. Just
yes. So good leads for the English WL sides heading into next week's second legs. We also have news that the Women's FA Cup will commence again at the end of this month, with Premier League teams and Championship teams to come into it in the fourth round. So that will be the weekend of. That is the weekend of 18th of April. So the very first round will be or the first round proper is 31st of March, 4th of April for the second. 4th of April. I thought I said 4th of March in my head for a second then, which is today. 4th of April for the second round, the 11th of April for the third round, and then the fourth round, 18th, and then the quarters, finals, and semi-finals will take place at Wembley Stadium and will be played into next season. And for the games this weekend in the WSL, we have again a full slate to look forward to. Starting off Sunday at midday is Man United versus Aston Villa at Leigh Sports Village. Then Man City versus Everton, Brighton and Hove Albion versus Tottenham, Birmingham City versus Arsenal, which take place is at St George's Park, West Ham versus Chelsea, and then on Monday night at 8:15 is Bristol City versus Reading. That is all the Women's Super League stuff all wrapped up. Right. Anything else from around the world of football that we may have missed over the last few days, or that you can think of?
Not that I can think of, but I'm more surprised you just didn't say any more for any more again.
I thought I'd change it up. Oh yeah.
You don't change up a catchphrase.
Yeah, I don't think there is any more for any more actually.
There isn't. We're stalling now. Is what is happening.
Yes, so we'll be back as always at the start of next week to look back at the weekend's fixtures. Hopefully there is a good heap of action to look back on and some talking points that aren't VAR or referee related.
Just 1 week about the fucking tumbleweed sound effect, please.
Hopefully as well. So yeah, we'll be back on Monday or Tuesday whenever we get it out. Until then, make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter as well, where you can keep up to date with our podcast and any other news stories. Oh, and wait, did that news come out on... I've just remembered about England planning to host the World Cup. Was that Monday or Tuesday?
I believe it was Monday when you put it out, but it was obviously Tuesday that it mainly circulated because it was the Monday night for some reason it came out.
Yes, so
it's terrible time to bring it.
It's so it can get into the papers.
Oh yeah, that's very Boris. That's very Boris.
Yeah. So if you missed it, we did an article earlier on in the week talking about Boris Johnson announcing that the 4 United Kingdom nations and the Republic of Ireland are planning to put in a bid next year to host the World Cup in 2030. No idea how that will go about with it being 5 nations. I mean, it seems extreme with the 2026 one being in 3 nations. So it being across 5.
You got to think about that 5 nations. There's only 1 stadium really. Only 2 maybe Scotland.
Well,
but only 1 elsewhere. You think about it.
2. I can think of. You'd use the
2 Scotland ones are pretty obvious. Hampden and I guess you have to do. Well, this is gonna cause problems, isn't it?
Celtic Park,
Celtic or Rangers.
Yeah. Then
you say Celtic because it's a bigger capacity, but Ibrox could do the job just as well.
Yeah. Wales, you'd use the Millennium Stadium or whatever it's called now.
Stadium. It's always the Millennium Stadium.
Yeah, and in the Republic of Ireland, you can use
Nice, Aviva Stadium. Yeah.
Aviva Stadium, and Northern, you could use Windsor Park.
It's a small stadium there, Windsor Park.
Yeah, but
I know it
they
did just get done up recently. But
I think they would use it, otherwise
what they take into consideration, like capacity, being in like FIFA regulations, and also transport links.
Yeah, that's why I think if it was to be, it would make more sense if it was like a 3-nation bid between England, Scotland, and Wales. So then you don't obviously have to do the flight across to Ireland or
I don't even know
ferry
if
across
the
to Ireland.
Republic of Ireland would even come into the conversation if it's a UK one.
Well, that it's been announced as they plan on doing it, the Republic of Ireland as well.
Oh, yeah,
But-
I guess then.
But yeah, for me, just
I only bring that up because I'd sense about Villa Park, they wanted like potential upgrades in case it was chosen. Because there's always the talk going around of stadium developments for Villa Park and all that. But in terms of Midlands clubs, it was between us, Leicester, and Derby.
Yeah.
What would you want to go Derby?
Yeah, it's not a stadium you would want to go to the iPro.
Why would you not want to go Villa Park?
Exactly.
We've hosted England games.
So make sure you check out that article.
And we're right next to a train station.
True. Apart from
It's
that,
a lovely place.
would you shut up for a second?
I'm lying out reasons, Boris, if you're listening.
Yeah, because Boris Johnson's going to listen to this. Plus, you never know. I don't think it will be held over here in the UK. I think it'd be somewhere. I think Spain and Portugal are planning to do a joint bid as well.
I've seen, but I read it has to be European because they're next to Asian, Americas. It would have to be a
Europe or Africa.
I don't know. Depends who comes in terms of African bits.
I think I saw it was.
You always get Morocco in there, don't you?
It was either Morocco or Cameroon that were planning on doing a bid for it. Cameroon and Egypt.
I mean, it makes more sense for the 100th anniversary of the tournament to be in the home of football.
Yeah. So, what we have for that 2030 bid as confirmed plans to bid is Morocco, with potential of Algeria and Tunisia joining them. Uruguay, Argentina, Paraguay, and Chile as a joint bid. Romania, Greece, Bulgaria, and Serbia as a joint bid. Spain and Portugal as a joint bid. Then expressed interest bidding, I don't know, Cameroon solely hosting it, as well as Egypt solely hosting it. A combined.
You've just Cameroon solely hosted it.
I don't know. But obviously.
I can't put our position. It doesn't seem like that at all.
No. A combined bid of Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru, and then obviously the United Kingdom and Republic of Ireland as well. So, yeah, it won't be until next year anyway, like late next year, when it will be announced as the host, and bidding can begin, because it's always 8 years before the tournament starts anyway. So that would obviously be in next year. Until Monday, make sure.
It's okay. We're going to get the next Euros anyway. This year's Euros. I was about to say.
I was about to say the next year. Well, from what UEFA are saying, they still want it held across the 12 nations.
Well, there's the talk now. They've said that Dublin and Ireland might get Dublin and Scotland might now get removed.
Yeah, because of not being able to get fans in place.
Even though they're probably following. Even though they're probably following the same timetable as England.
Yeah, because they have their own separate. It's because they have their own governments. That's why.
Yeah, I know.
National just, parliaments.
Yeah, but it's not too dissimilar.
Yeah. Yep. So we'll be back at the start of next week to review the weekend's games.
We've really just managed to drag out another 5 minutes of conversation on this.
Well, yes, because we forgot to mention it. That's why.
Yeah, lucky you don't have to edit this.
Yeah, I'm always lucky. So we'll be, like I said, for the third time now. We'll be back next week Just review all the games. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe wherever you're listening to. And we'll see you soon. And it's goodbye from me and goodbye from Brad.
No tumbleweed sound effect. No tumbleweed sound effect. No tumbleweed.
And we'll see you soon.